This is a step-by-step guide of how to be nostalgic and homesick and miss college. Also, I'll put in some solutions that I've found so far. I am probably one of the most nostalgic people I know. And when I have to go home, it's usually a big deal. A lot of crying. Anyways, I'm going home for Christmas, and I still have a lot of work to do, so I have to take this with me. That face right there, is the face of someone that took the Mac home, but was making the video and forgot to take the power cord, so they had to overnight one to their house. So I need to water my plants, but I kept going to the bathroom, filling up this glass of water, and then on the walk back, drinking the water before I got to the plants. And then I would get to the plants and I'd be like, oh, what the f-? So then I'd have to go back and I'd fill it up, and then I would drink the water again. Isn't that crazy?
Traveled together a few times, and we always have a blast, you know. So, like, I love. He talks about it all the time, and
really?
like I.
Okay, so I've been driving for an hour and a half. The nostalgia and homesickness and stuff like that hasn't really set in yet, but it will. But I do need to get some food because I haven't eaten all day and it's 4 p.m. So I'm gonna get a Dunkin' Donuts Beyond Sausage sandwich because I don't eat meat, so I can't get anything. Well, I can get a donut. Actually, I'll probably get a donut. 45 minutes later. Ask me why it took so long to get this food. Not eating does make you emotional because I just went into Dunkin' Donuts, and it's a Dunkin' Donuts Express, which means they have everything except the Beyond Sausage sandwich. And I saw that and I was just like, well, what am I supposed to do? So I got a chocolate donut and
like 75 grand to kind of get going. And
okay, so step one is go home, put on your pajamas, think about when you're in high school here, and you smell the familiar smell of your house, and there's just cabinets that actually have stuff in them, and food, and your slippers. You put on your at-home slippers. Step two, I sit on this couch in my house, and I put the recliner back like this, and then I grab a blanket, and I put it across my feet like so, and I like to pull it up all the way to the top of my shoulders, like so. And then I stay here and I talk to my parents for a long time and basically tell them information that they already know and that they actually told me for my entire life, but I'm just finding it out now. I'm like, oh my God, did you know you have to pay electric bills for your apartment? It's expensive. They're like, yeah, why do you think we told you to shut the lights off? And I'm like, and don't get me started on water. It's just everything costs money these days. This, by the way, this video is not meant to diminish the feeling of nostalgia at all, just because I am very nostalgic, and it's actually a big problem because it's not just nostalgia. I'm really scared of change and feeling like, you know, I used to be way better. It's a really big thing, so we'll get into that, obviously. I'm just pulling this up. This is an example. I've written, I think, like 12 short films and 1 feature, technically 2, because this is my second feature right here, but it is 135 pages basically about a very specific moment in my college life. So I really hope that you enjoy the view of my backyard and not me, because the camera exposed it incorrectly. I'm really always scared of big change and like shifts, and I'm afraid basically that I'm shifting away from who I am and becoming someone else, which I've talked about with so many people before, but it doesn't really make sense because as you get older, your mind changes to want different things. When I was a kid, I didn't want broccoli. Now, I'm not like thrilled, but it would be really weird if you had the same mind state that you did at 14 that you did when you were 25, or 20 than you did at 25, or when you graduated college versus when you were in college. But there are some things that I just like, and they represent a different time in my life, and they represent me under a different circumstance. So in college, I wasn't really worried about money. I was flipping watches, I was photographing watches, I had a job at school, so I guess I was worried about money, but I really never thought about it that much. I had money in my bank account, I knew it couldn't get too low, or I didn't have money in my bank account, but you know, I was hanging out with friends so much, and I had a lot more free time, so I did cool stuff. I made a movie, I did improv, I decorated my shoes, and you know, it was super artsy. I miss that, and the tough part for me is realizing that is still very much who I am. I just have a lot of stuff to do now. Moving on to step 3, 4. I don't remember what step it is. We're gonna go to the beach. I'm getting my car washed because it's filthy. It's covered in brown snow juice. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Very good.
See you today, honey.
Can I get the ultimate?
Ultimate? Sure,
Yeah.
24.
Thank you. I went with the ultimate. I don't know if you heard, but all right. Wow, this must be the ultimate. This is how you can tell if it's the blue color. It's beautiful. Wow. That was like $24.99. This must be the ultimate. See this second, I don't remember getting this when I couldn't afford it. It's the second stream here. Yeah, this is probably what I'm spending the money on. Oh yeah. Swirl the paint on my car like no one's business. Oh no, this probably right here. This is probably the ultimate. This purple hue right here, that light is probably disinfecting everything. The next step though, people usually, it seems like they come out and they towel dry their car. I'm not old enough yet to do that. It looks like a crowd, usually 30 and above. I'm just like, okay, the big blowers did a good job. I don't drink caffeine, so really I just like coffee because it seems like it's the beverage that companies take more seriously than hot chocolate, so they put more effort into it. So I'm gonna get a pumpkin spice latte, decaf.
Fear of the unknown as they do, and like got out and did things, and I didn't. So like you just.
Okay, so I have a theory, and basically that theory is that there's 4 main timelines in life: winter, spring, summer, fall, and those all run not simultaneously, but chopped up. And basically, when one season ends, that timeline goes on hold until it picks back up. So like in winter, you are one person continuously. I'm 25, so I have 25 seasons of winter, and I'm a specific person during winter. In spring, you're a specific person, whatever. That's basically my main theory. Like the life you're living in spring ends at the end of spring, and you have this little like chunk of life there. And then next spring, you continue on to that. I think that's why like when winter's ending, it's sad, because you line up all the winters in your life when you look at them. You think of your holidays and what you did and going in the snow, and it's all segmented into those things specifically. I think nostalgia is missing the person that you were before and not realizing that you're still that person. I think nostalgia is basically coming to terms with the fact that you've grown since the last time you've done X, like come back home or anything like that. But more importantly, here is how I get over that depressing nostalgia, I miss my old life type deal. Follow me. Also, step 4, or whatever step I was on, is going to the beach. The amount that I have to pee right now is incredible, but since I live on Cape Cod, nobody freaking lives here when it gets below 70 degrees. So I'm gonna go commit a crime and pee in the woods, I think. So let's see if this bathroom's open. It's not, there's a lock on it. Check, check, 1, 2. Audio check, 1, 2. So yeah, I'm basically nostalgic all the time. I always miss yesterday, but what I've noticed is that whenever I go back to what I missed, whether it be when I graduated college to go see my friends who are still in college, or when I come home and just to hang out, you always think that's gonna fix it, and it doesn't. I also feel like for some reason I'm speaking very weird in this video. I'm like, so I have one more thing to tell you. Also, total side note, I'm not doing this video at the beach to be dramatic. I live on Cape Cod. It is basically all beach. So I could just go to my Stop and Shop parking lot and tell you all this stuff, but I'm gonna go to where I grew up. I was thinking of doing a shot where I'm like looking at the water and I grab a rock and I like skip it into the ocean, and I'm like, so nostalgia is a venomous snake. You gotta throw nostalgia like a smooth pebble that you've worn over one too many times. But I didn't, because I'm not that deep. I have nothing profound to say up here, but I have no doubt on the fact that I say the word prolific. If you're wondering how you could support the Iron Snail, look at the number down below. You could also subscribe, like, comment, and follow me on Instagram. Thank you. As much as I now live in New Jersey and want to seem like I'm cool and from New York, I am very much a Cape Cod boy. Cape Cod to me feels like a day at home in a warm blanket, just hanging out and doing nothing. It's just very lovely. But the thing is that day at home in a warm blanket is only nice because there's a lot of days where there is no warm blanket. And that's kind of how I feel about nostalgia. I didn't peak, and I don't think I'll ever peak. I hate when people say that. If I peaked by 25, that sucks. I'm not even close to peaking, and I hopefully will peak the day I die in my bed. I think about nostalgia a lot, and I'm nostalgic a lot, but I'm not trapped in nostalgia. And I notice a lot of people that I know and that I see are trapped in nostalgia, and they're like, life sucks, this sucks. College was great, this sucks. But they just do the same thing. I am not content at all. I think in the grand scheme of things, I have reached 1 to 2% of my goals. And there's a long way to go, obviously. Hopefully I get up there to the high 50s, 60s, or whatever it may be, but you have to just keep going forward and just keep pursuing things, because so far, like I said, I've been nostalgic about yesterday every day, and I work a ton, and I'm always busy, and I always need more sleep, or always need more whatever, but things are looking good. I left a computer science job for a job at Theo and Harris, and I'm pretty sure in 5 years I'll be nostalgic of this year. And the only reason for that is I just kept going forward. The toughest part I had when I graduated college was just I didn't have any friends, but what I always said to Taylor was, I just need to do a few improv classes in the city, which at the time was Boston, and then I'll have friends. And I did an improv class, and all of a sudden, like a week later, they all invited me out to a bar to go get drinks and to hang out and to go to improv shows, and I had like 15 people asking me for my number, texting me and hanging out and all that stuff. That's the only way I know to fight nostalgia, because I could have stayed at my old job, gotten my pay raises, lived life here on Cape Cod and just hung out and always missed college and the good old days, but I didn't. I'm not trying to brag either. I was very stressed out. It was a horrible time, and it took me a long time to leave, but that's the only way I know how to do that. And sometimes it gets really sucky because I want to go home to my warm blanket and lay down, but in due time, that will come. And wherever I am, eventually, will just become another blanket, and then I will slowly begin to travel to all my blankets. I'm sorry, it's like 23 degrees. My mouth is frozen, but I will soon be able to travel to all my blankets and relax and appreciate the past, but always look forward to things to come. This is a very deep video. I feel like I should sell you something. Anyways though, we're not done with the list, and it's pretty dark outside, which was part of the plan, because the number 5 and 6 and everything involves driving. A girl that I dated said most of our relationship was spent in a car, driving or sitting in the car at the beach or anything like that. So that's the next part. I really don't know if this video is really corny. I'm kind of scared of that. This is my 5th time trying to get this shot. I keep moving and changing the settings and pretending to go on my phone for the light, and it hasn't worked out. I'm trying to get that green to the left of me, but if it doesn't work this time, I think I'm just gonna give up. So just forget everything I just said and just give up and go home. Go back to your little blanket. Okay, so this is the last spot and the last step, and my favorite location of all time is the Stop and Shop parking lot. A lot of my close friends know that I love going to grocery stores. In college, there was a CVS like a 10-minute walk away from me, and I would go like every other day. I find them so soothing. Every time you go into a grocery store, nothing's happening. And the best part is, there's always stuff that you should be doing, whether it be homework, work, spending time with people, calling people, writing something, people asking you for favors. I feel like the grocery store is one of the few places, besides like the doctors or something, where you have something to do. You have to go to the grocery store, and that's it. And it doesn't matter what people need or if you have work, because you have to go to the grocery store to get food. But what I've been doing at the grocery store, this Stop and Shop specifically, is sitting in my car playing some beats and freestyling over them. I've done it for a very long time. My name is Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L. What you gonna do when I rap till I yell? Call me the Iron Snail, going in a pail. What you wanna hear? I got another 30 tales. Hey, also, if you're so nostalgic that you can't get out of bed, that's not nostalgia, so you should talk to someone.